Welcome back to Political Talk with KD. Yeah, I had to play some music because this episode, I just need y'all to brace yourself because I've been hearing a lot of content creators trying to, talk about the story, but they not really shaking the table for me. So I'm gonna do this episode for y'all, and it's just for my listeners because we need to be aware about this stuff because this type of stuff happens. So, welcome back to Political Talk with KD. We're gonna jump right into it. So, I don't know if you guys know, but former Arkansas House Representative James Wilkins, he is in a lot of trouble. Okay, so not only was he state representative, House representative, but he was an Arkansas state senator. I'm gonna just read you guys to get you an exclusive of what's going on. So, he was sentenced today, which was last Wednesday, to 12 months and 1 day in prison. Yeah, that went left, right? He was sent to prison for conspiring to accept over $95,000 in bribes in exchange for influence in Arkansas state legislation and transaction, including steering approximately $245,000 in Arkansas General Improvement funds to his co-conspirators, which included executives at Missouri-based health care charity. As part of the conspiracy, Wilkins also admitted to devising a scheme to conceal the bribe payments as donations to St. James United Methodist Church in Pine Bluff, where Wilkins was also served as pastor. So, if you guys are not catching on, that's kind of like washing money. United States District Court Judge Brian S. Miller sentenced Wilkins today. In addition to the federal prison sentence, Judge Miller ordered Wilkins to serve 3 years of supervised release and repay $123,000 in restitution. Wilson must report to prison by March 7, 2023. And before we get into anything else, you guys, I gave you guys a brief of what's going on, so I just want to talk about it. So, this is just weird. First off, I attended the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and I sung for the Vesper Choir. So, St. James was in that church with the Vesper Choir. So, this is baffling to hear that he was once a pastor. Did I sing for him? This is weird. And my thing is, these are the people that people look up to. And you guys, the source that I got is from her name is Desiree. She's going to come on to my live to get us some more exclusive because she was actually there during his sentence. She was the source of how I got this information. But she was telling me how so many people, were there to support him still, even after him using the church as a pawn to get money. I'm all for Pine Bluff. I love Pine Bluff, and I don't never want to be caught trying to tear somebody down, but we have to hold people accountable. No matter if we think that they're high, but they are not above the law. And I feel like him getting 12 months in 1 day, that's a slap on the wrist, because if it would have been of anybody else who wasn't an elected official, who was just a normal constituent, they would have been gone. They would have been a goner for the half of their life. So I feel like that's where it comes into play, where our justice system needs to be better, because it's based off of status, based off of the law. And Judge Miller, I feel like that's what you sent out. That judgment, you sent that out to us, basically. You sent that judgment out and basically said that if you're an elected official, you're going to get a slap on the wrist if something happens to you. But I'm going to keep reading the article for you guys. Wilkins, he's 68 years old, previously pleaded guilty on April 30th, 2018 to a federal information charging him with conspiracy to commit bribery concerning programs receiving federal funds and conspiracy to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud and deprive the citizens of Arkansas of their right to honest services. According to court documents, Williams admitted as part of his plea from 2010 to 2014. And pause. You guys, this case happened 5 years ago. So he's just now being sentenced. So, while serving in the Arkansas General Assembly, he accepted a series of bribes from lobbyists and nonprofit organizations that were transmitted both in the form of cash and checks funneled from lobbyist firms to a discretionary fund held in St. James, name where Wilkins had access to deposit funds. In exchange for the cash and check bribes, Williams performed and agreed to perform official acts in his capacity as an Arkansas legislator, including filing shell bills, sponsoring full bills, voting in favor of special legislation, and steering approximately $245,000 in general improvement funds to entities that funneled bribes to Wilkins through his church. Several of Wilkins' conspirators, including former Arkansas State Secretary Jeremy Hudson, and we're gonna get to Jeremy Hudson, but I'm gonna finish. And 2 executives at Missouri-based health care charity pleaded guilty and are awaiting sentencing. You guys, Wilkins, I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed. And I'm just like at the point again with the justice system. Why is he awaiting to go to prison? Why does he have to report to prison March the 7th? He should already be in prison. If he's committed and he's accepted his plea, why is he getting the option? And we'll get in more to that exclusive of why he was able to. Maybe Desiree can tell us that more on the Instagram Live. I hope you guys are able to tune in. But I just want to know, why, I don't get it. I don't feel like he should have had that obligation. I mean, yes, he's older, and Desiree was telling me how that was a point in the court, how they kept saying how he's older and they don't want him to die in prison. And, excuses. Nobody is above the law. I don't feel like nobody else would have that option to report to prison on a later date than what they were committed. It's not equality. And it's just several times these judges in different states, and not even just Arkansas, are showing the message to constituents that elected officials are above the law. We're not just going to sit here and bash former state senator and House representative Wilkins the whole episode, because that is not the intent, and we'll wrap up on the intent in the end. But we're going to get on Jeremy Hutchinson. I don't know if you guys have known, but I am not trying to just bash the Hutchinson families, but at this point, y'all are putting y'all own self out here to do that. Control Asa Hutchinson. This is his uncle, you guys. So Tim Hutchinson is his dad. Jeremy Hudson is Asa Hutchinson nephew. So that's his uncle. So his uncle can't control his son, and he can't control his nephew. So that just runs in the family. So at this point, I'm going to read you guys, because Jeremy Hutchinson, I don't see how he ran for anything, because he has so many mug shots. I couldn't even read which charge what, but this is from January the 11th, 2023 by Lindsay Miller on her article, and it says Jeremy Hutchinson offers daughter's car, cufflinks, orders pawn shop fodder if judge will let him out of jail. So right now he's in jail based off, I know he was in some child support charges, but we're going to read what's on the article real fast. So Jeremy Hutchinson, the convicted felon, former Republican senator and deadbeat dad who has been in Pulaski County Jail for contempt for court for more than $500,000 in unpaid child support, has a hearing January 17th to try to reverse the contempt ruling, keeping him behind bars. Hutchinson is also scheduled to be sentenced in federal court February 3rd on bribery and tax fraud charges. The appealing to appeal the contempt will be before Pulaski County Circuit Judge Kara Connors, who has taken over the docket of the now retired Alice Gray, who ruled Hutchinson in contempt for failure to pay child support last year. So we're going to read that again because I just know y'all be like, dang, you cannot read. Hutchison's attorney, Clint Lancaster, sent a very sad letter to Connors yesterday, along with his motion to stay the contempt ruling. So I'm going to read this letter because, y'all, this is just, I didn't expect to get all this, but it's public information at this point. Perhaps emboldened by her setting a hearing date, Lancaster sent a new letter today offering a pathetic list of unused to be rich guy items he could give to the court to auction, with the idea that proceeds will go towards the money he owes. Among the items he's offering is the title of his daughter's car, which is said in his name. If the judge lets him out, Hutchison will go back to being a Grubhub and DoorDasher driver, Lancaster says. How can you be a Grubhub and DoorDasher when you're a convicted felon? You don't have a license, my guy. Did you forget that? He already trying to commit a crime again. I see why they need to kill him, hold him in contempt some more. Because you already saying you finna break the law when you get out. But, okay, we're going to keep going. Meanwhile, as Max Brantley has reported, Hutchison lives in West Little Rock house with his wife. Y'all see that he lives in West Little Rock, so look out. And the couple recently put in a swimming pool and took vacations. Also, Hutchison's father, former U.S. Senator Tim Hutchison, spent hundreds and thousands of dollars in legal fees fighting his son's federal legal challenges. So there may be some money there. So this is the letter. I know that you have been very gracious. However, I would like to ask for one more thing. Would you please consider releasing my client from jail pending the hearing? I saw Mr. Hutchison today and his mental health is rapidly deteriorating, and he has lost weight since the first time I saw him nearly a week and a half ago. That's because just like the episode when I say that he's going to jail, like which is his cousin's going to jail, he feeling the same way. How you think others feel that's in jail right now? They losing weight too because they know they going that way. If you do so, he can gather what assets he does and have, which is not much, and put them in the registry of the court for the court to auction or hold as supersized bonds. This property includes the title of his daughter's car, which is in his name. He has approximately $60 in Robinhood trading account made up of a fractional portion of a Bitcoin and some other stock that Robinhood gave him a share of when he opened the account. He has Apple Watch, golf clubs, earbuds, photos of Tom in the Senate, and pair of cufflinks. He will obtain these items and give them to the registry of the court pending the hearing and the appeal. He will also wear an ankle monitor pending the release. If you release him pending the hearing, he will work at DoorDash and Grubhub and pay $40 per day minimum until the registry of the court towards the arrange. Please consider releasing Mr. Hutchison pending the next week. I am confident he will be there because if he doesn't, it will be greatly harm his sentencing prospects in federal court on February 3rd, 2023. Ha! It's too late. Sorry, sir. You just got to stay in jail. And again, I don't know what's going on in the Hutchison family, but they need to get it together. Y'all look a mess. For real. Sarah don't got in the office and y'all just went crazy. Whew. My thing is, I'm going to just wrap this up with, and we're just going to talk about it. I'm going to just wrap it up, really. But I feel like these are the people that we trust the most and just think that, they are good people. But I feel like if we don't hold these people accountable to what their real job is, we will be blinded by what's really going on. Okay? Everything that happens is public record and we can find out. But we have to have the resources, to know how to do that. I know that if you can go down to your city office, you can ask for a lot of records that we have right to ask for that. You can call their staff. I was learning that, and you're going to see this in another episode. You could call our representatives or Senate staff and, get across your point and let them know what's going on, because it will be addressed somehow one day in the House during a legislation meeting. So again, like I said, I stress to this, you guys, we have to hold these people accountable. And I believe that we also need to start stressing that nobody is above the law. We still have a constitution to uphold at all times that supersedes everything. So we just have to abide by that. But I really know that this episode is going to ruffle a lot of feathers, especially with the city of Pine Bluff. But that is not my fault, because your pastor chose to not uphold his responsibility that he had while he was in office. I mean, some people, like the people who were really covering the story, they didn't want to say his name. And I believe that that's doing damage, because why are you holding secrets about what could possibly happen again? I don't think that James Wilkins is the only person who's out here doing that. Now, even in our capital, even in our house right now, I don't think that he's the only one. I believe that there's more. If you're going to cover something, I believe that you should just, say the whole thing. You shouldn't hold it from somebody just because. So I'm going to address it real fast because I found it. But these guys are called CTM_content. And you can follow them on Instagram. I think they also have a YouTube page too. But
I don't care about politics like that. They're not necessarily. This is the part I think people don't realize. Like a former Arkansas senator, I'm not even going to say the person's name, but a former Arkansas senator was sentenced to 12 months for bribery.
Just 12 months? I mean,
yeah. Depending on how much it is, like, see, that's the thing.
That seems like a good trade-off,
right? People saying, I'm gonna go into politics, I'm gonna be clean, I'm gonna be wholesome, I ain't gonna do this and do that. But then when that person meets you at the coffee shop with the duffel bag with money, $200,000 in cash, no taxes, no IRS,
50s, 20s.
All we need you to do is just talk about this bill.
You don't really have to do nothing, just a conversation.
And can you imagine like what the thought process? See, that's the thinking game process. Like if I take 1.2 mil, and only have, if it's state time, I only have to really half of 12 months, 6 months, 3 or 4 months at the most.
And we lost the money. We don't know where that money is.
But see, here's the thing though. It could be a trade-off, but what if you go to jail, you don't make it out in those 6 months?
I mean, yeah, one bad night in jail, one bad night anywhere.
Yeah.
You'll never be the same.
But outside of jail, you can walk away. In jail, you can't really walk away. Only so far.
They say turn the other cheek in real life. You know what I mean?
I don't want to show no cheeks in jail.
You guys, it was comical. I get it, because they're different type of content creators, but that was an insight of, like, for real, like, I feel like he was saying, like, James Wilkins, I feel like that he knows him. Like, he knows that he was a good person, but he was put into a bad position. No, let's call it what it is. He was stealing money. To me, betraying his constituents, doing something that he ran, and he did what the opposite is already doing. And he joined the team. And him and Tim Hutchinson just got caught up. They just got caught. I mean, if you really... Let's talk. From people, most of my listeners are the young generation. So some of these terms, if you're older, you may not understand towards this end. But when you know how to finesse the system, you just get it. You get it with some people, how they live. And I feel like that's how it is in politics. Some of the people get it, like, especially based off of how my friend who I got the source from, she was telling me on how so many public officials came for him, and was talking for him and basically writing the letter for a judge and all that. So many judges showed up, all because they get it. So do you get it? You get the concept that I'm saying? They get that sometimes, I'll accept a bribe. But guess what? You're not upholding the Constitution. You're not upholding your responsibility in office, and you're letting your constituents down. You're not above the law. You're a fraud. Sorry. So, there it is. Make sure that you tune again for the next Instagram live, you guys. I know that one's gonna shake a lot of people's feathers, especially when I talk about their pastor. People do not play about that pastor. People is gonna they're gonna eat me alive for this one, but guess what? I'm still gonna keep going. So tune in to the next episode.